Much knowledge and many discoveries were passed down from master to apprentice in ancient times, and if this chain was broken, the invention's principle would be lost forever. We've sifted through history to bring you some ancient technologies whose secrets have not survived to this day. Lycurgus Cup. This ancient Roman cup depicting King Lycurgus' death has an interesting feature. The color changes depending on the lighting and liquid inside. It's green in the shadows and red in the light, for example. If you pour water inside, it will be blue. If you pour oil, it will be yellow-red. The cup, according to scientists, was used to detect impurities in beverages. The cup is made of the tiniest gold and silver nanoparticles. This implies that the ancient masters were aware of what we now call nanotechnology. To this day, no one can make anything like it. Flexible glass. 3 separate ancient accounts of a substance known as vitrum flexile, or flexible glass, are insufficient to establish that this substance existed. Petronius was the first to tell the story of its invention, 63 AD. He wrote about a glassmaker who gave a glass vessel to Emperor Tiberius, reigned 14 to 37 AD. When he asked the emperor to return it to him, the glassmaker threw it to the floor. It didn't break, it just dented, and the glassmaker quickly hammered it back into shape. Fearing the depreciation of precious metals, Tiberius had the inventor beheaded so that the secret of vitrum flexile would perish with him. Pliny the Elder, 79 AD, also told his story. He stated that, while the story was widely circulated, it may not be entirely true. Dio Cassius's version, told a few hundred years later, transformed the glassmaker into a sort of magician. The vessel broke when it was thrown to the floor, and the glassmaker repaired it with his bare hands. Corning, a glass manufacturing company, introduced its flexible willow glass in 2012. It's particularly useful in the production of solar panels because it is heat-resistant and flexible enough to be rolled up. If the unfortunate Roman glassmaker did invent vitrum flexile, he appears to have been thousands of years ahead of his time. World's oldest computer. Item 15087 wasn't much to look at, especially when compared to other wonders discovered in Antikythera, Greece in 1901. Beautiful bronze sculptures, ropes of decadent jewelry, and a treasure trove of antique coins were discovered during the underwater excavation. We could have predicted that a shoebox-sized bronze beat-up machine, its writings barely readable and the machinery calcified and corroded, would be the discovery that would captivate scientists for over a century now. In this very small volume of messed-up corroded metal, you have packed in there enough knowledge to fill several books telling us about ancient technology, ancient science, and the way these interacted with the broader culture of the time, said Alexander Jones, a historian of ancient science at New York University's Institute for the Study of the Ancient World. It would be hard to dispute that this is the single most information-rich object that has been uncovered by archaeologists from ancient times. Jones is a member of an international team of archaeologists, astronomers, and historians who have been working for the past 10 years to solve the mechanism's many mysteries. According to Jones, the findings significantly improve our understanding of the instrument's origins and purpose, providing hints as to where and by whom the mechanism was made, as well as how it might have been used. It appears to be a philosopher's guide to the galaxy, as the Associated Press put it, serving as a teaching tool, a status symbol, and an elaborate celebration of ancient science and technology. The Antikythera mechanism was a complex, whirling clockwork instrument with at least 30 bronze gears bearing thousands of interlocking tiny teeth in its prime, around 2,100 years ago. The machine, which was powered by a single hand crank, accurately modeled the passage of time and the movements of celestial bodies. It had dials that counted the days using at least 3 different calendars, as well as one that could be used to calculate the timing of the Olympics. The complexity of this machine and the purpose for which its creators designed it are emblematic of ancient values. For example, a dial that predicts the occurrence of eclipses to the day also claims to predict the color of the moon and the weather in the region that day. To modern scientists, the 3 phenomena are completely distinct. Eclipses are based on the movement of the sun, moon, and planets that scientists are able to detect. The color of the moon is based on light scattering in Earth's atmosphere, and weather is based on difficult to track local conditions. Astronomers may be able to predict an eclipse years in advance, but there is no scientific way to predict the weather that far away from the present. The ancient Greeks came painfully close to inventing clockwork centuries before it actually occurred. The fact that they chose to use technology to plot out their place in the universe rather than to mark the minutes demonstrates how seriously they took celestial events in their lives. The sound of spirit. The oldest underground sanctuary is Hal Hypogeum. Saflini's The Oracle Chamber is the most intriguing part of it. The sounds produced there with a deep male voice are amplified several times and echo throughout the structure. The rest of the sounds are completely inaudible. Scientists are still attempting to decipher how the ancient amplifier works. It's well known that sounds resonate at such a high frequency that people feel the vibration throughout their entire body. This effect alters consciousness and causes hallucinations to appear. Antidote to all poisons. A so-called universal antidote to all poisons was said to have been developed by King Mithridates VI of Pontus, reigned 120 to 63 BC, and perfected by Emperor Nero's personal physician Adrian Mayer, a historian focusing on science and folklorist at Stanford University, explained the original formula in a 2008 paper titled Greek Fire Poison Arrows and Scorpion Bombs, Biological and Chemical Warfare in the Ancient World. However, ancient historians claim that it contained opium, chopped vipers, and a combination of small doses of poisons and their antidotes. Mithranium, after King Mithridates VI, was the name given to the valuable substance. Sergei Popov, a former top biological weapons researcher in the Soviet Union's massive biopreparat program, who defected to the US in 1992, was attempting to create a modern-day Mithranium, according to Mayer. Heart ray weapon. Archimedes, 212 BC, was a Greek mathematician who invented a heat ray weapon that defied the abilities of Discovery Channel's Mythbusters to replicate in 2004. The weapon was described as ranks of polished bronze shields reflecting the sun's rays at enemy ships by Mayer, despite the fact that Mythbusters were unable to replicate this ancient weapon and declared it a myth. MIT students succeeded in 2005. They used the 2,200-year-old weapon to blow up a boat in San Francisco Harbor. The Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, unveiled a heat ray weapon in 2001 that used microwaves to penetrate a victim's skin, heating it to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, creating the sensation that one is on fire, Mayer explained. Free energy. Nikola Tesla was a brilliant inventor who created many fantastic things. He built Wondercliff's Tower in 1901, which was capable of transmitting electricity anywhere in the world and providing people with free energy. Unfortunately, Tesla's laboratory funding ran out and the tower was quickly demolished. After his death, a portion of his invention's drawings were captured, while the remainder mysteriously vanished. Greek fire. The Battle of Blackwater is one of the most memorable scenes in Game of Thrones, with the battle decided by an intense green fire that could not be extinguished with water and would burn indefinitely. What would you say if you found out that this battle is partially inspired by historical events? Greek fire was a devastating invention that played an important role in the Crusades. The Eastern Roman Empire invented fire in 672 AD, and it was known by many different names, including sea fire, Roman fire, and war fire. It all began when the Byzantines were attacked by a massive naval fleet of their current adversary, the Muslims. The military weapon made its historical debut. The attacking force had never seen anything even remotely similar to Greek fire, which burned ships and even burned on the water's surface. The Greeks literally hosed down their enemies with fire. The Greeks would later develop various applications for the ancient invention, including everything from a fire hose, which shoots fire rather than water, to fire grenades. Greek enemies did wise up and devise methods to extinguish the fire using vinegar and old urine. For centuries, the secret was closely guarded. Napalm is the closest modern technology has come to replicating Greek fire. Nonetheless, no one has yet discovered the ancient invention's formula and has ever succeeded in recreating Greek fire. Roman concrete. The vast Roman structures have been able to last thousands of years, which is a testament to the advantages of Roman concrete over modern concrete. which shows signs of deterioration after just 50 years. Recently, researchers have been working to discover the secrets to the longevity of this ancient concrete. Volcanic ash is the secret ingredient. The University of California, Berkeley News Center reported in 2013 that university researchers described for the first time how the extremely stable compound binds the material. The manufacturing process would emit less carbon dioxide than the modern concrete manufacturing process. However, some disadvantages of its use include the fact that it takes longer to dry, and while it lasts longer, it is weaker than modern concrete. There you have it, everything you need to know about some of the most interesting ancient technology that still holds secrets to this day. Some of these secrets have only recently been uncovered in this modern era. However, others are still unanswered. With many scientists unable to recreate these ancient technologies, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Which piece of ancient technology was the most interesting to you, and which one blew your mind? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.